Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, building experiences that connect, remove friction, and deliver insights. Well, hi everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Ed Kless, and with me today is Skip Bowman. Skip is an author, consultant, and keynote speaker focusing on how to transform organizations with a growth mindset and psychological safety. Australian-born and European-based, he has worked with global organizations for over 25 years, developing unique programs and approaches for his clients. People first is Skip's mantra for successful business, leadership, and organizational change. Only when people feel valued and respected can you fully realize the potential of purpose-based organization. His book, From Safe to Great, will be published globally in September of 2023 and outlines his integrated organizational and leadership development processes for implementing a growth mindset based on psychological safety in global organizations. Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, Skip Bowman.
Thanks so much. Wow, what an intro. I feel honored. I feel honored. Most importantly, I'm an entrepreneur myself. I'm a small business owner, and I come from a whole league of small business owner family and friends and farmers and stuff like that. So,
well, great. The first question I have for you, Skip, is why do you do what you do?
I love people. I discovered when I was 20, I didn't realize that, but I discovered a passion for teaching. I was a diving instructor at the time. And it just worked. I mean, it's really weird. You can spend your whole life trying to be smart or be an accountant, which I had done up to that point. And I started being a diving instructor and went, wow, this just works. It's weird. So I was lucky. I discovered it, and I've been a teacher ever since. I mean, I'm a psychologist, so I've got a scary title too. But I'd be most proud about the fact that I've spent 30 years working with adults. Some say the adult entertainment industry, but I won't mention it like that. But I love creating a learning space, whether it be coaching or teaching. It's a real pleasure to help people find their way, I should say. And so I still do it. It's all good.
And before we started recording, you mentioned the fact that we're on the precipice, really, of an incredible amount of change which is about to take place. And I wanted to ask you, how do we make sure that we're on the right end of that incredible change?
Most people haven't seen it coming. I've been lucky enough to do, in writing the book I've just been writing, I don't want to speak too much about that, but in principle, it's a bit of a crystal ball, looking into the crystal ball. And I think people with ChatGPT just recently got a bit of a glimpse of what this is about. And when even the people who know a lot about it are going like, we're not quite so sure, then we know we're in trouble. So the prognosis is pretty scary. And I think some people are feeling that. I think in general, the whole mental health issue around the world is post-COVID, but we're going to go into a new one, which is going to be driven by the uncertainty, driven by a lot of dislocation of labor, which means a lot of jobs changing, a lot of small businesses perhaps going out of business, because there's going to be some big changes. AI has the potential to create enormous productivity and can help us in the health care systems and in lots of other areas where we need more productivity, where we need to serve more patients and help people. But there'll be other areas where it's going to hurt a lot. And I'm hoping that small businesses, a little by school teachers have been left completely hung out to dry by this. They don't know how to manage the cheating. They don't know how to manage any of it. And I think we need to start working with, amongst other school teachers, but also a lot of small business owners, and make sure that we're educating them to sort of redefine their business models and understand, perhaps, use AI to be able to be better businesses, et cetera. But there's a need to really go at this hard, because it's that you can guarantee that somebody somewhere is working to exploit us all with it. You can guarantee that. So we need to step up here.
So let's talk a little bit maybe about the ChatGPT thing, and to say that one of the things that I've noticed about it and working with it is that it really has upped. You need to up your game in terms of your precision of the language that you use. And I think that's perhaps a skill that is there, but we really need to cultivate a little bit more in society, and may end up creating jobs for people who are good at being able to do stuff like that. Yeah,
there's no doubt it can help people who have struggled with language, with writing, and it's a lot of people that do. A lot of small business owners may not feel that they're as good with language as they would have liked to have been. Maybe they haven't studied as much or whatever, but the ChatGPT can help you enormously because it spells things right and the grammar's great. And so in that respect, it's extremely helpful. As a friend said to me recently, all the guys running all sorts of businesses out of Asia for that matter, who are struggling with English, they don't no longer have a problem. Like ChatGPT can write perfect English for them. They just have to ask it the right question and away it goes. And so the basic level is there. The question will come a little bit is about how do we drive a unique strategy, because ChatGPT will be accessible for everyone, and how will language be a differentiation point? But a lot of businesses don't need that. They just need a good contract, or they just need, a good description of their business. They need something for their website that makes a bit of sense. And in fact, in reality, the system will be really, really good at that. The next step up for Microsoft products is going to be amazing, what it's going to be able to do for small businesses in terms of productivity. So there are some great advantages here, but there is also the opportunity for obviously the usual actors to step in and be perhaps a little bit ahead of the game. So I'm hoping, again, to inspire some entrepreneurs today to really make sure they're not blindsided by this, that they step into that space and explore the possibilities for their own business area.
Totally agree with that. Because I do think that one thing that ChatGPT is it's not actually creative. It's an advice inference engine. It's using an algorithm. It's using probability to come up with its next word. So it's not really creating anything new. It's entrepreneurs that will, I think, continue to be the creative force.
Absolutely. It's just that there are some possibilities here that people saying, well, why do I need that marketing person? Why do I need that copywriter? Why? So there's quite a lot of people in jobs that are quite well paying, freelancers, entrepreneurs, that work with language today that could potentially struggle a little bit. But you're right, there is an opportunity for productivity in the sense it can help those writers actually produce more. And if they're managing the systems well, I think there are opportunities there too. But don't wait. That's all I'm going to say. Don't wait. Embrace it. Get into it, because nobody else is going to help us. As usual, entrepreneurs, we are always left to our own, to do the savings or spend the money. It's always our money in play. So just go for it, everyone out there.
Well, the good news is that if entrepreneurial creativity always comes as a surprise. It can't be planned. It's one of the things that by definition it has to come as a surprise.
I'm all for it.
All for it. So we have an.
I love surprises. So
yeah,
I love surprises.
Are good.
It's all good.
And Skip, we have an exit question that we ask all of our guests, and that is, who is a hero of yours, and why are they a hero?
Well, I hate heroes because I think we put them on pedestals, and that makes it tough for anyone. And as you well know, all heroes have faults. To be honest, I can't quite get what I love him or hate him, which would be Elon Musk. And I know that can be really boring, but as an entrepreneur, and if you put aside some of the other wacky stuff he does, I mean, I just think sometimes business people shouldn't touch anything political. They should just stick to business. But as an entrepreneur, we have to take our hat off and say he's assembled some people who have done some really extraordinary things. And I think too, as when you listen to him communicate and speak, I think he's taught people that, you can be nerdy and a bit, clumsy and yet communicate really skillfully. He's not a great communicator in a sort of a classic sort of sense, but I think he also shows that if you're unique to who you are in your communication, and he thinks about it and he gets help, and there's no doubt about that. But to be honest, I've seen some communication where I thought, wow, that is just, I mean, it's ugly. It's in fact many ways very ugly to watch, but it's damn effective. But there's no one who can say that he hasn't changed the world. I would like him to perhaps stick to rockets and stuff like that, because that's where he's really, really good. I think I'd like him to be a little more supportive of some of his workers. I don't think he has a fantastic reputation as a leader of people, but as an idea guy and unmistakably has changed the world probably more than any American entrepreneur in the last 100 years. There's no doubt about that. And
lastly, Skip, how can somebody contact you?
Find me at safe2great, as in with the number 2, great.com. Skip is my name, put that at the front of that. Find my website. I've got a book coming out. Hope you got a bit of inspiration today. Thank you for letting me be on the show.
All right. Skip Bowman, the author of the upcoming book, Safe to Great. Thanks so much for being a guest on the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.
No worries. Thank you.
Review and subscribe by searching your podcast player of choice for Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.